I'm Dr. Sian Cole, Senior Health Psychologist, and today I'm going to be doing a video on communication styles and some sentences to help people to communicate their needs effectively. So I'm going to start off with describing the three main styles: passive, assertive, and aggressive, and explain a little bit about what they look like and how they affect and can affect our relationships with other people. So passive communication style is when somebody really respects the other person's needs over theirs. So their communication style is quite small, really, is the best way to describe it. They're kind of small in their body language, the volume of their speech might be low, their eyes downcast, and they are worried about putting their needs onto other people, which can make the other person feel quite confused. So for example, a person might have a doctor's appointment to get to, and if they communicate in a passive way, it might come across like this. Oh, don't want to bother you, but if you don't mind, if it might be on your way, would you better maybe drop me off at the doctor's? So you can see where the other person might be a bit confused and not know how important this is, or if they're just kind of seeing if it's okay rather than really communicating that they really need help. The opposite to passive communication is aggressive. So this is when people kind of are big and they are coming across as only their needs matter, not really considerate of the other person, which is why their eye contact might be quite intense, their body language big and maybe overbearing. Volume of their voice might be loud and fast, and maybe using some swear words because their needs are important rather than the other person. So an example might be, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow and you must take me. I want you to drive me to the doctor's appointment. I have no other way of getting there. And look, maybe that's not a very good example. I wasn't maybe as aggressive as you might imagine, but it kind of gives you a bit of an idea. I'm not the best actress. Anyway, back to this. Assertive communication is when you not only respect your needs, but you respect the other person's as well. So the relationship quality is going to be a lot better. And I just realised I forgot to explain that the relationship does suffer in aggressive communication. The other person might be scared, and over time will definitely withdraw from that relationship because they're not being respected. So assertive communication, you are respecting the relationship. It's going to be better quality because you're thinking about being clear and understanding about your needs, but you're respecting the other person as well. So an example might be, I noticed I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow and I would really like to ask if you could give me a lift there. Nice, clear, and you're respectful of the other person as well. So now I'm just going to explain 3 sentences. Sometimes I call them magic because they do work quite effectively, but I will say they're not 100%. But these are 3 sentences that I teach people that are assertive in their style. So one thing that we have noticed as psychologists is that when we start sentences with I rather than you, you're already naturally starting to become from that assertive communication place. When you start saying things with you, you can see when people start to kind of get defensive. You are always late, you left the dishes in the sink, you never tidy up after yourself. You can start to see where that might kind of trigger some people. So these sentences that I'm teaching you today all start with I. So the first one is I notice. And this is about your observation. I notice I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Or I notice you left the dishes in the sink. So you try to be as non-judgmental as you can, just stating what you observed. I notice you were late. I notice that you're speaking in a really loud voice. That's all you're doing, just noticing what your observation is. Now the next sentence is expressing your thoughts and feelings. I feel. I notice you left the dishes in the sink, and I feel like you think it's up to me to clean up after you. I notice that you're always running late, and I feel really uncomfortable with getting to our appointments late. And look, sometimes you don't even need to do this sentence, but it can be an important part of giving some clear communication to someone else. But the I notice is really important, and the final sentence is really important. I would prefer. And this is the solution. This is what you want. I notice that I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I would prefer, if you're free, if you could give me a lift. So you don't need to do the thoughts and feelings, but that was just about giving the solution. I notice you left the dishes in the sink. I feel like you think it's up to me to clean up after you, and I prefer if you could just clean up after you've had your meal. Now, I prefer is not rigid in how you say it. You can describe it in different ways, using different words, but it's still the important part of the I and the solution. So, happy practicing, good luck with it, and give it a go. Thanks.